Hey everybody, Ken here for The Scoop. We are going to go over our open-faced Chinese poker tutorial. More about the rules and fantasy points and scoring, more so than any kind of strategy. I am not qualified to give you much strategy advice. Ask anybody who's played against me in open-faced Chinese poker. I am not super good, but I do enjoy playing because it is a lot of fun. It is the new Omaha of poker. Everybody loves playing it. It's a full-blown degenerate game. Lots of fun. So let's just dive right into it. Open face is played with anywhere from 2 to 4 players. In our variant, which is called Pineapple, it's a little bit different. You can only play with 3 players. So it's going to be anywhere from 2 to 3 players in each pod or each hand. It's played with one single deck of cards. And you've got your bottom board, you've got your middle board, and you've got the front. So back, middle, front. I think I said bottom originally, but it's back, middle, and front. We play the high variant, which means your bottom board, your back board, has to beat the middle board, which has to beat the front board. If for some reason your front board beats the middle board, you foul out, you don't qualify, and your hand is bust. It's just called a foul. And if you foul, you can't earn any points. The way the points work is you start off playing boards only. So each board is worth 1 point. The way this works is if you're playing heads up, you just play against each other. If you're playing in a 3-man pod, each player is playing against the other players individually, meaning I am playing the player to my left, and then I'm also playing to my player to the right. It's not like between the 3 of us, we decide which backboard wins. I play individually against each player. Even though there's 3 players in the game or in the hand, you score each one differently with each player. So everybody's going to play everyone else individually. So basically the way this starts is you get dealt 5 cards. You put your 5 cards down wherever you want. Once those cards are down, they're locked in place. You cannot switch them to different spots. It's part of the strategy. So once you put a card in your backboard, it stays there. It cannot move. After everybody has played their 5 cards, and you go just like regular poker, there's a dealer, and you're going to start to the left of the dealer and then come back around to the dealer. So the person to the left of the dealer is going to place their cards first, followed by the second player, and then me as a dealer, I will get to place my cards last. The advantage to that is I get to see what the other players are playing, so it might alter, I might not want to go to a flush draw if player 2 has 3 clubs and player 3 has 3 clubs, and I'm looking at 3 clubs. I might not place those 3 clubs on the bottom of that back board because of the fact that a lot of those flush cards are gone already. So you get 5 cards, you play those 5 cards out anywhere you choose. Once they're there, you cannot move them. After those first original 5 cards are placed, you're going to get 3 more cards. And the way it works in Pineapple version is you're going to place 2 of those 3 cards and discard 1. Everybody's going to do a round of that. We do that until you get all 13 cards placed on your boards. Again, backboard's got to beat the middle board, it's got to beat the front board. The second part of scoring is, besides each board being worth 1 point against each player, if you scoop, meaning you win all 3 boards, you're going to get double the points from the board points. So instead of winning 3 points, you're going to win 6 from that player. But in addition to each board being worth 1 point, a scoop being worth double, you also get something called royalties. So in the backboard, anything above a straight earns you extra points. So if you make a straight in the backboard, you get plus 2 points. If you make a full house, flush, quads, straight flush, or royal flush, all of those point values go up. Royal flush in that backboard will be worth 25 points. Excuse me. All of these points will be listed on a link in the description below. So if you want to get more information on the scoring for royalties, please check that. But in your bottom hand, if you get a straight, it's 2 points. Flush is 4 points, full house is 6, quads is 10, straight flush is 15, and a royal flush in your backboard or your bottom board is going to be a plus 25 in points. Pretty sure you're going to win that board as well, so you get that bonus point from those boards. Middle board royalties are a little bit tougher, so there you get an extra set of royalty points. If you make trips in the middle board, you get 2 points, straights is 4, flush is 8, full house is 12, quads are 20, straight flush is 30, excuse me, royal flush is 50. If you didn't notice, all of those points double from the backboard to the middle board. And on the top board, any pairs above a 6 and trips are going to earn you more points. So 1 point for 6s, 2 points for 7s, 3 points for 8s, all the way up to aces, which are going to get you 9 points total. If you get any trips, like trip deuces, those are worth 10, 3s are worth 11, all the way up to pocket or trip aces, which are going to be plus 22. So again, you earn points based on if you win one of the 3 boards, you get 1 point. You win 2 boards out of 3, you're going to get 2 points versus the other player's 1. And again, it's based on the other player. So if I win 2 boards to your 1 board, I'm going to net 1 point. It's not like you each play, you know, you net 1 point. And then after you do the boards, you decide who has royalty points. So if you've got, like in the board that we're looking at here, you can tell I have a flush on the bottom, which is going to be worth plus 4 points. I have 2 pair in the middle, which is not worth any royalties. And up top, I have kings, which will be worth 8 more points. So I would get 12 points in royalties, plus I said I won 2 out of the 3, an extra point. That's how you do the scoring in open-faced Chinese poker. Don't worry, most of the time, if you don't know how to play, you can find a lot of different internet sites that gives you those. But once you get going, you learn the scoring, and it's much easier. But again, you play each player individually. So if you're playing in a 3-handed open-faced Chinese poker game, you're going to score individually with each person. So if you make a nice flush and win that backboard on both players, you're really gaining some royalty points. Third and final part of open-faced Chinese poker is Fantasyland. I know it sounds funny, but it's certainly something we do. Let me make sure I get all of my stuff here, but it's pretty easy. If you make quads in your bottom board or a queens or better in the top board, you end up in Fantasyland. Fantasyland means instead of getting 5 cards, placing them, getting 3 more cards, placing 2 and discarding 1, and doing that rotation the whole way through, you get all of your cards up front. So instead of getting 5 cards in your opening hand, you're going to get 14. You play 13 of them and you discard 1. It is a great way because fantasy is huge. The points don't double, nothing else changes. All of the royalties are still the same. The difference for this is you get to see all your cards up front. So you normally score a lot more points when you're in fantasy and the other player has to discard and take their cards 3 at a time. It is a huge advantage. Now, when you are in fantasy, you do need to get quads or better on the bottom to stay in fantasy, or trips up top to stay in fantasy. You cannot stay in fantasy if you get another pair of kings up top in your fantasy hand. That doesn't qualify you to stay in fantasy. You have to get trips up top, quads on the bottom in order to stay in fantasy. And the longer you stay in fantasy, the more points you get. Typically, you race to you either play a number of hands or a race to a points. In the CCG CSOP tournament, we are playing when you're out of money, you are out of the game. So it's a little bit of a variant there as well, but you're going to pay them based on your chips. Point values are lots of fun. So open-faced Chinese poker, it's a ton of fun. If you have any questions, hit us up in the comments section. But yeah, check us out online, see what you have fun with, and if you have any questions, let us know. Make sure you like this button. Make sure you like this video, and if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.